So for pregnancy, when people got pregnancy, certainly physical body will be changing. Thus, we will have some special way to check it. We are talking about physical examination now. Certainly, we have more examinations, like use ultrasound to check it. But physical examination is the basic way. So firstly, we're talking about what kind of changes for pregnancy. So basically, when people got pregnancy, they will change thread gland. We know thread gland secretion hormones, especially T3, T4, that directly increase metabolism, like more blood circulation, heart rate is increased, blood pressure little bit increased. That's truly pregnancy women needed, need more blood supply to the baby. And also breast tissue getting changing. Prepare for the milk for the babies. So breast tissue gradually getting bigger. And certainly abdominal eye getting bigger and bigger gradually. And the pelvis eye. So that's basically holding the baby there. And some other changes. So some people when they got pregnancy, their skin will have a little bit changing. So that sometimes you can see like a patient pregnancy and on their face beside the nose area, you can see some reddish color in there. And also abdominal area, because the baby getting bigger and bigger. And then you can see some line in the abdominal area. So that's skin changing. So that's basically we're talking about some changing, and mainly is hormone changing, and changing everything. So that's basically when they're changing, we need examinations for their changing. Then we're talking about like how we examinations. And certainly, during the different time for pregnancy, their changing may be different. So that's we say, generally speaking, usually the big changing after 3rd month, when our physical examination, we can finding that kind of changing. And we can finding the changing in the nipples, because nipples getting bigger. And during the middle to later pregnancy, and we even can see maybe some secretions coming from the nipples, and also around the nipple area getting darker, and some grass we can see. And also veins, you can see in the breast tissue, getting bigger and easily to see it. So that's some basically changing in the breast tissue area. And like we say, another big changing. So it's abdominal eye. And abdominal eye, so getting bigger and bigger. We say increase the size first. That's hold the babies, sphincters and uterus. And because the uterus and the sphincters getting bigger and bigger, then the other changing we can find for abdominal muscles. So that's another side we can see they are changing. So if we go to this picture here, so we say basically we can see the changing after 3 months. Before the 3 months, it's too small. It's hard to see the changing. But after 3 months, you can see abdominal area gradually getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So go to the 9 months. It's pretty close to delivery and pretty bigger. And also breast tissue. Yeah, it's not too clear in this picture, but truly breast tissue will get bigger and bigger and bigger also. So that's basically we are looking. We can find. That's we looking by side. That's we looking by side. If we looking in fat here, if we looking in fat, especially in abdominal area, especially abdominal area, you can see that's basically 3 months to 4 months after 3 months. So if we palpation, we can find the top part of the uterus in that level, a little bit bigger over the pupil bone. We can find it. And then 4 months getting bigger and go up pretty fast after 3 months. And in the umbilicus levels, basically it's 20 to 22 weeks here. And then getting bigger and bigger again. So that's some basically changing for the pregnancy woman. So generally speaking, for pregnancy and the physical examinations, we separate with 3 timelines. First trimester means first 3 months. Then second trimester, second 3 months. And the third trimester, last 3 months, pretty close to delivery. And the people got pregnancy, their body changing will be different during these 3 different trimesters. So the big changing, the sphincters getting bigger and bigger and more bigger. And certainly the holding the sphincters, the uterus getting bigger and bigger and bigger also. And from outside, we're looking. So this picture looks like we're looking for the sagittal plane here. But if we're looking from outside, we just see the pregnancy woman, the abdominal area, gradually getting bigger and bigger. So that's the mainly we can see from outside of the pregnancy woman. And we also can see some other changes beside the abdominal area getting bigger. We can see on the skin some line in there because the abdominal area getting bigger and bigger. Originally is muscle there and the skin covered muscle. But when they getting bigger and bigger, so basically they pull the muscle go to both sides and the skin getting stretching there. And then we can see some line in there. So that kind of line basically looks like a broken superficie of the skin. And then we can see some deep part of the skin there. So that's basically some blood vessels in there. That's some pupil colors in there. And also in the middle area, middle abdominal area, originally we have line in there, but white color. Right now they changing to brown color. So that's basically some dark pigments line show up in there. So that's for some people when they got pregnancy. And then we see the muscles. So muscles originally is tense in there and holding abdominal in there. But when people got pregnancy, their muscles could be separate. Could be separate up here in the abdominal area, especially in the later or third trimester of pregnancy. I think we have a picture special for it. So like this one, this side is originally normally people have muscles pretty fond of abdominal area. They cover here, pretty tense, holding there. But when baby getting bigger and bigger, you can see here, they moving the muscles to both sides. So thus we can see, sometimes we even can see the shape of the muscles in the abdominal area. So that's some changing. So if we see some like people truly got pregnancy, you can compare these two sides. You can see it looks like the muscles side go to here. So some muscles moving to side part, and the center part still not hollow there, still holding the baby there or fetus there. So that's basically we can see some skin changing. So pregnancy women also get some other changes. The firstly, we're talking about body weight changing. Certainly, we're getting more body weight. So when we're talking about the physical examination before, we're talking about BMI. So BMI is the measurement for people, like how high it is and what its nutrition, like that. So we say we have normal BMI range, but when people got a pregnancy, the BMI will be changing different by their original BMI state. Like originally, patient BMI is lower. We couldn't say people, you only BMI normal, you can get pregnancy. Still some people, BMI is lower, they got pregnancy. Some people BMI higher, they still possible got pregnancy. And some people BMI pretty high, opposite, they still possible got pregnancy. But with measurement for different kind of people, their BMI levels will be different. So if the BMI originally is lower, we expected she will get more body weight. So that's like try to get more 28 to 40 pounds or maybe 12 to 18 kilograms. That's required here. That's required. And if the BMI originally is normal, we expected they getting about 25 to 35 pounds during the pregnancy. If the BMI originally is higher, they still got more body weight, but less than normal. Less than normal people. That's the expected. If patient originally BMI pretty high, over 29, that's we say pretty high, then we recommend, we say recommend here, getting body weight less than 15 pounds. So that's basically for people get pregnancy, including their BMI originally based in there, and then we recommend people got how many body weight totally for their pregnancy. So certainly if they are not got that much weight in there, basically possible cause centers for nutrition. If getting too weight, maybe got too big babies, it's a little bit hard for delivery. It's not means too bigger, it's good for baby also. So that's here all the numbers for single pregnancy. But we know sometimes they may have twins. So twins certainly we expected they getting more body weight compared with singles. So that's some basically number here, but we just try to remember. If patient originally BMI is low, we try to getting more body weight. If patient's originally BMI is higher, we try to or recommend get a little bit less body weight. So that's about BMI. Then we're talking about checking for the patients, physical examination, checking for the patients. When we're checking for the patients, we ask patients specially position in there. So in that way, we are pretty easily to palpation for the uterus, and also easily to hear the fetus heart sound. So what kind of special precision we ask? Semi-CT precision. And with the knee bend. So that's usually we checking for pregnancy women, and then we expected the precision. So that's this picture. Semi-sitting means half sitting, half lay down there. And then with the knee bending, certainly we can put a pillow underneath to support them. Now don't make the people too tired. Then we are easily to palpation for the fetus and the uterus, and we are easily to hear the sounds or the heartbeat coming from the fetus. So that's some special palpation here. Then we're talking about the vital signs and the weight. We're talking about BMI a little bit already. So vital signs, we still remember. We're talking about body temperature, blood pressure, heartbeat, and the respiration rate. So together we name it vital signs, means so close relationship with the life. So certainly we need measurement for blood pressure. So generally speaking, all the vital signs will be increased for different degree. But usually not over normal. That's the normal condition for people pregnancy. For example, we say normally the body temperature is about 36.5 to 37.3. Like some people, they like body temperature is around 36.8 usually. When she gets pregnancy, her body temperature maybe go to 37, but still normal. Still in the normal range. Just compare herself. Let be increased. And including the blood pressure, including the heartbeat, and also respiration rate, but still in the normal range, basically. And if they increased too much, that's some abnormal. But we have some special condition. So what special condition? In the middle of pregnancy, the blood pressure may be a little bit lower compared people not pregnant yet. So that's still normal. Still normal. Just suitable for the people holding the fetus there. So what means abnormal? So truly some pregnancy women, their blood pressure increased too much. Like we say, blood pressure's normal range, 80 over 120. So that's usually we're talking about normal range there. But if patient's blood pressure increase too much, when we're talking about high blood pressure before, over 90 or even over 95, dilate part. That means blood pressure abnormal. So that's possible happens for pregnancy. So that's if too high, that should be severe kind of condition. Should be go to hospitalize and treat, use some medication to control their blood pressure. Yes, go ahead. So it's not especially relationship with the age. It's truly like by the individual patient's conditions. Like if patient originally blood pressure is normal but a little bit close to higher, that kind of patient is easily got high blood pressure. Or maybe like people eating too much during the pregnancy, or maybe eating too much solid, that's truly holding the like more water inside and easily cause the blood pressure increase. So that's generally speaking. But measurement, not like everybody necessarily have high blood pressure, but you need like a test for your blood pressure like every week. If you see the blood pressure gradually go higher, that maybe cause some trouble later. If they like keep the normal range, so for most people, their blood pressure should be okay. You're welcome. So that's for the blood pressure part. We say maybe increase a little bit, maybe decrease a little bit, but still in the normal range. That should be normal. Decrease too much is not that often happens, but if happens, still abnormal. But if they increase too much above the normal, that's the situation. Need to be careful. And the second part, we're talking about measure for body weight. So we say body weight should be increased gradually. Follow the baby getting bigger and bigger. But still, but still, for some people, especially for the first trimester, means the first 3 months, some people may get severe kind of morning sick. Morning sickness means during the pregnancy, and their reaction for pregnancy, they may nausea, and they may vomiting. They don't want to eat. Like after eating, they will vomiting. Even they smell something special, like a urine, no trouble, nothing. But during the pregnancy, she may still vomiting out. So that may cause people losing some body weight. That still belong to normally losing body weight because morning sickness, vomiting, whatever nutrition, they vomiting out. And the poor appetite, don't like to eating too much. But compare her body weight before, the losing should be less than 5 pounds. That still belong to normal. And later on, after passing that time, like people stop nausea and vomiting, their body weight will be recovered. So that's about body weight part. So then we talk about the general inspection. People coming and pregnancy, we need looking generally all over body condition. It's a healthy condition or poor nutrition condition. And like the video show us, we looking their walking way and we looking their emotions. So that's basically general inspection. We are immediately to know that patient generally healthy or unhealthy condition. And then we look in patient's face. We say normally during patient's pregnancy, pretty common mask on the face, pretty common, and some pigments on the face. So that's we say usually on the cheekbone area. That belong to normal. So basically around the eyes or maybe around the nose eye. So that belong to normal. And then we inspections for breast tissue. For breast tissue, basically we compare both sides. The nipples, both sides should be normal and similar. And the color should be similar. And we also can see the veins on the breast tissue. So that's normal happens for the pregnancy. They also have a lot of big veins on the breast tissues. And the nipple and around the nipple area is more darker compared with no pregnancy. And we also have a grass in there. It's getting bigger too. So like this picture. So that shows some bigger dot here. That's the breast. It's getting bigger too. So if people not pregnancy, usually we are not truly can see it. But when they got pregnancy, we can see lot of. And darker in the nipple area. So darker in the nipple area and also darker around the nipple area. And certainly breast tissue getting bigger. And we can see some blood vessels. So usually they go there for this way, blood vessels. So that's just because it prepares for the milk for the babies, and the tissues growing, they need more nutrition, go to that local area. So that's the normal reaction. So that's the general inspections. Basically, we looking patient's face and we looking patient's breast tissue. Then we move into abdominal eye. Abdominal eye, we talking about already. Position, semi-sitting position, with the knee bent or flexed. So abdominal eye, we still can follow inspections, then palpations. We are not truly have aspirations, but we are not truly have percussions, but we can have aspirations, like hear the baby's heart rate. So inspections, we generally inspection for the skin to see if they have some scar tissue in there or some strength in there. So scar tissue, certainly, if a patient have like a surgery before or injury before, they possibly have scar tissue there. Or maybe second pregnancy, the first pregnancy is take the baby by the surgery. They may possibly have scar tissue. But usually, people will not have scar tissue in the abdominal eye. But the line should be in there because follow the baby go up. Like we see the picture before. They're moving the muscles to side and the skin getting more thinner and thinner. And we can see some like inside of skin or deep level of the skin that's more dark or purple color in there. That makes the line in there. Then we look in the shape of the abdominal eye. So basically from the first to second semester, both sides will be the shape will be the same. But follow the baby getting bigger because depending where the head located, where the hip located. So that's basically possible make the shape like be different later. And then we find the fundus head. Fundus means the bottom part of the uterus. The bottom part of the uterus is the upper part. It's the upper part. That's the fundus. How high in the abdominal eye? And thus we talking about some pupil line in there and some dark line in there should be normal. When we palpate, so basically we still can find some organs or masses in there. And these kind of masses right now, we're talking about some uterus, uterus getting bigger and bigger, and also sphincters moving inside. So some kind of movement, we can feel it when get later age of pregnancy, at least like after 24 weeks. Other people can feel it. Other people, like when we checking, practitioner checking, other people can feel it after pregnancy, 24 weeks. But the mom usually feel it early compared with other people. So that's we say mom can feel the sphincters moving between 18 to 20 weeks. They will feel, oh, my baby moving, in my abdominal area. So that's the normal. That's normal. And sometimes uterus have some contraction in there. So certainly, just slightly contractions. Sometimes when we feel it or palpate it, we just feel some resistance coming from the uterus during the third trimester. During the third trimester, it's not like early. When more close to delivery time, its contractors we feel is more. So that's basically when the contractures in there, like we feel some tense coming from the uterus. So during that time, we are a little bit hard to feel the sphincters. We waiting the uterus relaxing, then we feel the sphincters. So that's by the palpation for abdominal eye. So that's this show us the position for the pregnancy. Then we're looking for abdominal eye, and then we palpate it. So abdominal eye examinations are important part. We measure the fundus hair. So like the picture we showed before, different pregnancy type, the fundus hair is the difference. Like these pictures here show us like how high of the uterus fundus area by the month of pregnancy. But truly they put weeks. So basically about 4 weeks is a month. So that's about 3 months here. That's about 4 months here. That's about 5 months. That's about 6 months. 7, 8, 9 months. So that's basically different months, and the uterus getting bigger and bigger, and the fundus area, basically this area, getting higher and higher and higher. And then we can use a meter to measurement from the pupil bone, and then measurement how high it is, and then we compare with the normal hair, and then we know like the baby's development is normal or abnormal. It's too slow or a little bit faster. So that's basically we measure for abdominal eye. So measures the frontal hair with a type. So basically, at least more than 20 weeks, like the picture we see. It is too small. We are hard to measurement. So we are in the middle line, and we measure from the top part of the simple processes pupil bone. So that's we have bone in there, connections in the lower abdominal area, and then they connected with hip bone here. So that's basically our bone shape. So we measurement start from the top part of the pupil bone here, and then go to the top part of the uterus fundus. So basically, when they're getting bigger, truly we can see it. But when they're not that bigger, with palpation, then we can find it. Like abdominal area, mainly is softer. And then you touching here, it's a little bit hard. So that's basically, and then we measurement how high it is equal to how many weeks in the pregnancy. And then if we match it, that's normal development. And usually we checking for pregnancy is regularly, like every 2 weeks if normal condition, normal development. If we find something wrong, we ask pregnancy woman coming every week, then we mark it. For example, if we measurement like is over 8 centimeters this week, and after 2 weeks, we measurement there still 8 centimeters in there. So that means during these 2 weeks, nothing happens. The fundus didn't grow. So that's possible. The fundus stop growing. So we need further examinations like ultrasound to see if the fundus, like a heart, still beating there. The fundus still lies there. Certainly, sometimes it's poor nutrition. The fundus is pretty slow development, but normally they will go up gradually. It's not like a stop there. And certainly sometimes the pregnancy mom may tell you, oh, I feel my baby stop moving. That's still possible. Fundus died. for some reason. So we measurement to looking the sphincters growing gradually, and the sphincters should be moving regularly inside of the uterus, and certainly we can hear the sphincters heart sounds or heart rate. That's normally we expected. So when we talking about we hear the sphincters heart rate or heart sounds, we have different kind of scalp. So here is the picture, different kind of scalp here. So this kind is more sensitive. Is more sensitive. Means we can hear the baby's heart sounds little bit early. This kind is little bit less sensitive compared with this kind. But you pay attention the height of the scalp here. That's a special kind of shape. So usually we use for adults. The shape is round shape, more flat, and then connected there. But this shape, so basically is better hear the sphincter sound with this kind of scalp. Certainly if you don't have these two kind, regular kind of scalp, we still can hear, but we need even waiting, sphincters getting more bigger. Early stage is a little bit harder. So we say with that more sensitive kind of scalp there, we can hear the baby's heart sounds around 12 weeks, like 3 months. And if we use that special kind of scalp for sphincters on the right side, the last picture, so basically we can hear the sphincter sounds after 18 weeks. So you can see how big difference here. Yeah, about 6 weeks, 1.5 months difference. So certainly ultrasound could be pretty similar. Too early, the heart not development yet. So we need to hear the heart sound after heart development. So even ultrasound more sensitive, even compared with this one, but we still need waiting the baby's heart development, then the heart can beating there. So we say the rate during the early pregnancy is more high, and then getting little bit slowly down. But still like much faster compared with adults. So that's basically. So that's we talking about if we hear the sound in the abdominal area, people pregnancy, and if the rate over 100, about 120, or even over, that must be the baby's heartbeat there. And if we hear the rate only about 100, or even a little bit less than 100, that's possible mom's heart rate transmission by the blood vessels, artery to them. So thus we can compare. Then still abdominal eye, we say we hear the heart sounds or heart rate basically in the middle of the lower abdominal eye from the 12 to 18 weeks of pregnancy. Certainly we need to use that special kind of scalp. And then follow the baby getting bigger and bigger. Like after 28 weeks, the baby's heart sounds better we hear it on the back of the fingers of the chest or the chest. So how we can find the back of the fingers or the chest part of the fingers? So we have some checking way later. But generally speaking, the transmission way, let's go to our picture here. So that's the examination way. We try to find the sphincter's location or position. So mostly we expected the head part, down part, that's easily for delivery. And then the hip part is above. So when they physical examinations, we can feel it. So basically the head part is more hard. And the back part and the hip part is more softer. So in this way we know where is the head, certainly we know where is the back, where is the chest. So if we try to hear the sounds, the heart rate, better put your scalp close to the back part or close to the chest part. Then the sound transmissions more easily. You can hear it. So that's basically we're talking about. We try to hear the sound coming from the babies. So that's in the different pregnancy. We need go to different like a location, but we try to go to back or chest part, and then we put our scalp there to hear heart sounds. So that's totally depending. When fingers getting bigger, totally depending the fingers, the positions. And then with palpation, we found the fingers head part is more harder, and the back part and the hip part is more softer. Then you know where you can hear heart sounds. So that's basically. So that's just some example here. Certainly for pregnant women, another important area is the genital eye, including the arms and the rectum. But generally, examinations for genital eye, So that's need a special kind of training. So we are not go to so detail go to there. So we just like we say looking the genital eye and looking some body hair in the genital eye distributions and looking some color in there and some scar in there. So we are not specially go to genital eye examinations. Like in the video, they show us you need a special kind of technique and you need a special kind of machine or material in there. And then you can examination, especially go to genital eye, especially checking for inside of the body about the uterus. So that's we are not especially go to there. We just know that's a pretty important part to checking for pregnancy. So then we call it a special kind of technique here. So basically we still talking about palpation in pregnancy and in abdominal eye. So that's the technique here. Basically, after 28 weeks, people got pregnancy. Then we can check in there. Basically, in this way, we can finding the ventral position, like which side is the baby's back, and the relationship with the mom. And also we try to find the baby's, like the position, like we expected the head part go to lower part like a poise bone in there. So in this kind of position, it's easily to naturally baby delivery. If we finding early, if not head part in there, like a side part in there occasionally, but most case is the hip part. Then we can tell the patient for do some special training and try to turn to head part go down. So basically during pregnancy 7 to 8 months, not too early, not too late. Too early, baby will moving around. They possible naturally turn head down later. Even you tell the training turn the head down, they still possible turn it back. Not too late. If late than 8 months, like it's hard to moving anymore, like the baby too bigger. So basically for Western medicine, what we training for the patients if their baby in wrong position there. So with the knee on the bed or floor, and then the head touching to the bed or floor. So like bending there for 15 to 20 minutes every day. We can do once a day or even twice a day. So this way helpfully the baby naturally turning inside. And also remember, when we talking about TCM, when we talking about acupuncture, your your bladder points, the last point in your bladder channel, 67. It truly helps for turning the baby. Marks is not a needle. Yeah. Marks are there regularly every day. Still, 15 to 20 minutes each time. We can do 2 to 3 times a day. You can combine these two ways together and help the baby turning. It's very effective. Yeah, it's very effective. So most babies, they will turn to head to the lower part and then get naturally delivery. So that's basically. And certainly, sometimes if the baby is still not turning, and sometimes, like if you go to specialists, they may go to Genital Eye and then help the baby turning. But that way is not like a natural way. We tell the pregnancy woman, go to special position, try to turning, or use maxa, go to bladder 67 and then turning it. So that's we say why we try to find the first position, because if they are not in the right position, then we try to turn it to right position. So what kind of technique? We can find the first positions. Yeah. We have few steps. Yeah, we have few steps. So firstly, standing on the woman's side face to her head and keep the fingers on the both examinations hand together and the palpation gently, and to determine which part the filters in the upper pulse, means the uterus filters area. So we still go to the picture to see. Yeah. So just means you put your two hands to both sides of the uterus or abdominal area and gently touching it. Gently touching it. And usually if you're touching the back part, basically that side is more smoothly. If you're touching the abdominal area, the lymph in there is unsmoothly in there. So generally touching, you got some basic idea. And certainly if you're touching head part, the bone in there is more harder. So from the first touching, we got some basic idea in there. And then second touching, yes, second matches. So we put the hand on the one side of the abdominal area, and then we try to find the body of the filters, and use another hand to go to the uterus area and the palpation for the filters. So we still go to the picture here. So that's basically this situation. Yeah, this situation. You can see the filter is not truly hide on the pupil bone area. It kind of transversely in there. So then we use one hand, try to figure out where is the filter's head, and another hand try to figure out where is the filter's hip eye. So that's the second way we measurement. And then the third way measurement, we turn the turning and face to pregnancy woman's feet, removing all position. And then we put the fingers of both hands there. And the finger top put together. Then we still palpation in there. I think we still easily go to the picture. So thus we specially find like the baby's head below, then we try to figure out how low it is. Is it go to gradually low down, go to the pupil slow area and holding there or not. So that's the first step. So our face to patient's feet area. So that's patient's feet area. Then the fourth measurement. The fourth measurement, we still put hand to both sides and try to figure out the baby's position in there.